The Las Vegas Raiders are making me go clinically insane because I feel like I still got a little bit of hope. And if you feel that way as a Raiders fan, I want you to click that like button because coming up here on today's show, I'm going to tell you why, as a Raiders fan, in a season that there's no reason, quite frankly, that a Raiders fan should have hope. But if you're not a hopeful, clinically insane person, I don't know how the hell you are a Raiders fan. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because the definition of insanity is the inability to think and behave in ways considered to be normal and rational, especially on account of serious mental illness. And I know that I'm kind of joking around, and I know I'm kind of laughing about this when I say this, but I seriously, when I woke up this week, coming into week 9 against the Jacksonville Jaguars, I really sat up here and I thought, if the Raiders can flip and get a win against Jacksonville, we're going to be bought back in here to this team. You can call me insane. You can call me crazy. You can call me a Raiders fan. So coming up here on today's show, I'm going to tell you why I got a little bit of hope. And I wake up every morning as a fan of this team, and I find myself looking for hope. And I hope if you come across the show, you smile, you get a good giggle in. But I think also, I know I'm not the only one. Because I know the nation shows up, I know the nation shows out, and I'm going to give you all these reasons here. Why? Call me crazy, but I do have hope yet again. The first reason why I have a little bit of hope here, it's the bye week came at the absolute perfect time for the Las Vegas Raiders. And I'm not just saying this from we were really bad at football standpoint leading into the bye week. It's also the fact that we were able to get healthy, and we are starting to be much, much healthier, right? Like, I did speak to multiple players this past weekend, and multiple players, offense and defensive side of the football, said that they felt like that bye was needed, whether it was a mental rest, whether it was a physical rest. But the fact that multiple guys did tell me that they personally felt that this bye week was the best time possible for this football team. Also, you think about some of the key injuries that the Raiders have had earlier this season. Some of the key injuries that we had just racked up. And Max was dealing with something minor. Isaiah Palomal was dealing with something. You know, you look at an injury like Brock Bowers. He's finally back practicing at full strength on Wednesday. Because this team does finally look to be like, we're getting healthy. And this team does finally look like, you know what, maybe we did need a mental reset. I don't know you. I don't know what you do in your job, but there's some days when I come home after a hard Raiders loss or a tough day at work. I sit down, I hang out with my wife. I sit down, I hang out with my dog Chuck, and you just need a mental reset. And I do wonder if everything that happened this season with the Las Vegas Raiders early, if they just needed a little bit of that mental reset. We got more reasons coming up here why the Raiders are giving me hope in this Week 9 game, but I do have a question for you because Halloween time is here. I'm going to be dressing up. You want to see what I have to wear on Thursday Night Football. It's going to be electric, but I want to know from you, what are you dressing up as for Halloween? Let me know down in the comments section below. Can't wait to see some of the answers that we end up getting here on the Raiders Report. The costume I'm going to be wearing, I'll give you a little bit of a hint. And you can see that costume on Thursday Night Football. And if you don't pull up to our Thursday Night Football streams, I personally think it's some of the most fun that we have, nation to nation, friend to friend. If you're somebody that likes to sit back, have a beer or two, if you're over the age of 21 and just talk sports with your buddies, I hope that you hit that subscribe button. I'm telling you, you're definitely going to want to see what I have to wear on Thursday. Let's go to the next reason here why the Raiders are giving me a little bit of hope. Lonnie Johnson Jr. is returning. This is just another example here of an injury that we have not had a player all year long. This was somebody that the Raiders considered to be a starter earlier in the offseason, and I think it's going to help our secondary. In my mind, adding a player to our secondary, it can't hurt, right? In my mind, it can't hurt. I feel like we're only building depth. We're only getting a better special teams player. But to me, the number one thing that I want to see from the Raiders coming out of a bye, can the coaching staff make adjustments? And the Raiders, their 29.0 sub-package rate is the lowest in the National Football League. The Raiders' 32.5% heavy box rate is third highest in the NFL. I bring up those numbers because Lonnie Johnson Jr. is going to be able to help out in that department. and he's going to be able to help out in the sub-package department. This is a team that needs fresh legs. This is a team that needs to be able to show offensive coordinators for opposing teams that you are going to be able to switch it up. Patrick Graham, Pete Carroll, I'm looking at you, right? If we're just going to sit in cover 3 and do the same damn thing over and over and over again, well, then we need to have better players out there to be able to do it because we're not generating enough pressure for the skill that we have in the secondary. Do I anticipate Lonnie Johnson Jr. being a big help, big replacement? No, not really, because I still will say I don't think he's much of a cover safety. But the reason why he should have a little bit of help, if you want adjustments to be made on defense, I do think that Lonnie Johnson Jr. should help us make adjustments. And also, with us having a brand new player getting some time, I don't think it's going to be as easy for the opposing team, the Jags in this case, to be able to scheme up for us on the defensive side of the football. Let's go to the next reason why I feel clinically insane for believing in the Raiders yet again. Tyler Lockett for Geno Smith. And whether you like the Tyler Lockett move or not, I'll leave it like this. I do honestly believe that Tyler Lockett will help out Geno Smith. I do honestly believe that Tyler Lockett will help out Chip Kelly, will help out Pete Carroll, will help out this offense from top to bottom because right now the Raiders, they're averaging 14.7 points per game. Sometimes you just need to see the ball go in. Sometimes you need a bit of momentum. Sometimes you just need some confidence in yourself. And that's what I think this offense needs. Having a healthy Brock Bowers, having a Tyler Lockett, a chemistry guy for Geno Smith. And it's very important for a quarterback like Geno to have somebody that he can rely on. And maybe he just doesn't have that player that he could rely on. But the fact that Geno is tied with Tua Tagovailoa for the most interceptions in the National Football League, you go out and you get a safety blanket that Geno Smith, when he's had him, has been much, much better than when he hasn't had him. So throughout Geno's career, with Tyler Lockett in 53 games, you can see the yards. I want you to look at the touchdowns. I want you to look at the interceptions. I want you to look at the quarterback rating. Obviously, with Lockett compared to without Lockett is much better. I understand that this is with the Seahawks, and Geno Smith has not played anywhere close to the way that he did back in Seattle. But you know what? Call me crazy. Call me a Raiders fan. Maybe Tyler Lockett can help Geno get it going. And then maybe that opens up more for Trey. Maybe it opens up more for Jacoby. Maybe it opens up a little bit more for Brock Bowers. At the end of the day, I want adjustments to be made. And Tyler Lockett is going to force this offense to make some adjustments. Coming up here, though, I got some bad news for a rival team of the Las Vegas Raiders. And you maybe have already heard me talk about this throughout the week here on this show, but I'm feeling hopeful. You know why? Because one of our big rivals got some really bad news around one of their star players. I'll tell you what that is here in just a second. If you don't already know, our show is sponsored and presented by Panda Supps. Whether you're looking for protein, whether you're looking for the pre-workout, some BCAAs, fat burners, some greens, though they do have a brand new Sleepy. It's called Sleepy 3.0, and I'm telling you to not sleep on this product. If you need help falling asleep, then you definitely should go to pandasupps.com. Use code Raiders for 25% off. It comes in flavors like citrus mango, green apple, and mixed berry. It helps promote relaxation. It calms the mind at bedtime, improves sleep quality and restorative sleep, support mood balance and cognitive clarity, enhance daytime recovery and overall well-being. Also, a brand new product from Panda Supps is this awesome protein. They're all new Fuel Premium Protein. It's that caramel ice cream crunch with caramel cookie gem inclusions. It is a limited edition, so you got to go get your hands on it. If you like Biscoff cookie, they actually have Biscoff cookie gems in the protein. So when you're sitting there, you're sipping on it, you can also kind of chew on your protein shake. I'll always say this. If you got a Ninja Creamy, and I know Ninja's not a sponsor, the best protein on the planet to put in that freaking thing is Panda Supps. Chugs is laughing in the background. I'm laughing too because I'm serious when I say it. Like, I can't even tell you last time I made a Ninja Creamy without Panda Supps protein. It doesn't even seem right. Panda Supps, shout out to them. Let's go to the big news here from our rival, and it's around the Denver Broncos, and it's that Pat Surtain injury. I get it. I'm crazy. I'm a crazy Raider fan for having faith, but there is that part of me where I'm going, holy shit, dude, we're 2-5, right? Imagine we take care of business, and we beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. Then you got a short turnaround, and then you got to get ready for the Denver Broncos in Week 10, who's not going to have their best cornerback, who's not going to have the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, and Denver still has some talent in that secondary. Obviously, they do, but not having Pat Surtain is really, really going to hurt that defense, and according to Jordan Schultz, he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. So as soon as I heard 4 to 6 weeks, I thought to myself, are we finally about to start getting some luck going our way? Are we finally going to get a bounce to go our way? And I thought about that because I go, there's not only a chance that he's going to miss that first game against the Raiders, there's a chance that he doesn't play at all against the Las Vegas Raiders because you got Week 10 at Denver. That's Thursday Night Football. And if we're keeping track of the 4 to 6 week window, well, I mean, if you're the Denver Broncos, do you potentially hold him out until he is 100% healthy just because of how well that Denver has played this season? And this is clearly going to be a playoff caliber team because I'll tell you this, from the Raiders standpoint, those are your next 6 games. And they could hold him out for 6 weeks, meaning both Raiders games are gone. But if I was looking at this Broncos schedule, and I know I'm just being honest with you, I would make sure that Pat Surtain is healthy for Week 15, Week 16, Week 17, and Week 18. Because no disrespect to the silver and black there in Week 14, and no disrespect to the Washington Commanders there in Week 13. Commanders, guess what? NFC opponent. Week 14 Raiders, they probably think that they can already beat us. But if that's a Broncos team that not only wants to compete for a high playoff spot, but also wants to be able to go out there and compete for a Super Bowl, I think you need to be able to ready the rock and roll against the Packers, against the Chiefs, against the Chargers, and against the Jacksonville Jaguars, another team that's probably going to be fighting there with you for an AFC wildcard spot. Because of that reasoning right there alone, there is a real part of me that does not think that the Raiders will play Patrick Surtain at all this upcoming season. I also sit back and I look at that very first game that the Raiders had against the New England Patriots. And guess who New England did not have in that game? Christian Gonzalez, their number 1 corner. And that, if you haven't been paying attention to the Patriots, you can make an argument Christian Gonzalez is one of the best. I think he's top 5 corner in the NFL right now. And just because they didn't have that top 5 corner, that really impacted that defense that allowed the Raiders to stretch the field better than they ever have stretched the field before. What if it happens again? What if it happens again? We haven't had a healthy Brock Bowers in a long time. Last time we did, Week 1 against New England. And guess what? He's 100% healthy. We got one more reason here that I hope that you guys have a little bit of hope. Before we get into it, though, if you don't know, I am going to be live on November 4th for the NFL trade deadline. I'm going to be going live at noon Eastern time, which means from noon Eastern time to 4 p.m. Eastern time, right when that deadline happens. We're going to be talking all things NFL trades, all things Raiders going on. I'll stay live a little bit after because we know fax machine likes to roll in. But if you were waiting for my live show on Tuesday at its normal time, don't wait till it's normal time. I'm going live at least 4 hours on Tuesday. Make sure you're subscribed. Let's go to the last and the final reason here of why I do have some hope around the Raiders. And the Raiders proved to me during the bye week that they are trying to win football games. And, you know, there's a part of me where I'm like, damn it, maybe we should rebuild. But to me, at the end of the day, I always want a team that goes out there and fights. And I don't want a team that rolls over and quits. And I think a lot of us were concerned in that Kansas City game and that Colts game. Is this a team that's just about to roll on their back and give up like we've seen so many damn times? But going out and getting Tyler Lockett is a buyer type of move. It is a win now type of move. I also think because what you are asking from the Jakobi Meyers trade, if the Raiders were true sellers, and if the Raiders were truly not trying to win at all, they would be like, you know what? Whatever we get for Jakobi Meyers, we get for Jakobi Meyers. But the reports around it have been they're looking for a day 2 pick, a second or a third round pick, which tells me they obviously want to keep him. Why? Because he makes you a better football team and he helps you win now. But at the same time, if you give me a really good deal, I'll end up taking it. But I'm not just going to throw him away. And that's what teams that are actually trying to do, like actually trying to win, try to do. I believe in this coaching staff. At least I used to before the season started. This will be my final week where I'm going to sit up here. I'm going to put those crazy goggles on again. I'm going to put those crazy glasses on. And I am going to hope you can call me clinically insane because I felt clinically insane making this video, but it's my God-honest opinion. I believed in this coaching staff at the beginning of the year. We got a lot of great coaches in terms of the resume. Well, now it's time to put those resumes to the test. Make the adjustments after the bye week. figure out how to get better, and give your fan base something to hope for. Because if you beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, we're back. If you lose to Jacksonville, I think you're going to lose this fan base. But you know what? I have hope that we can beat the Jags. Why? Because we can figure it out during the bye week. And if you can figure it out during the bye week, who knows? Good shit might be able to happen. So this is how this video is going to end, and I started it this way. It's how I'm going to finish it. If you feel insane for believing in the Raiders, hit that like button. Personally, I think if you have hope and you feel a little crazy, I'm just going to call you a Raiders fan.